Well, I wanna do a couple more negatives. I thought, uh, I know you're gonna disagree with me on this. I have intel that you will disagree with me, but I thought the in-game adjustment from Berhalter and the team was not great. Like we actually didn't we actually despite conceding that goal right after Scally came on, we didn't actually look that bad in the rest of the first half. I mean, it wasn't like we weren't like running around with like chickens with our heads cut off the way we were in the first part of the second half. But the first 20 minutes of the second half were, I don't know if it was just our defensive shape or the personnel on the field. We could not get a handle on the game. And Trinidad was in our half, um, not threatening in really, really dangerous ways always, but in our half, causing us problems that whole time. They got all four of their shots. Well, they had by the time that they got to that 1v1 between Nathaniel James and Matt Turner, that was just completely wasted by James. It was 2-1 at that point, played in behind, could have easily been 3-1 after that sequence. But at that point, they had outshot us 4-0 in the second half and had the ball in our half most of that time. And I'm like, I mean, yes, the team needs to do a better job of just sort of like figuring out the moment, but I don't know if it was our defensive shape or the personnel, but we did not adjust well to the situation until Malik Tillman came on. And I think we can talk about more on that later, but something about Tillman coming on helped us calm things down. And it was just from then on, it was pretty much smooth sailing. We're not going to score, but neither are you. And so I feel like the in-game adjustment ultimately was figured out, but there was a big period where it wasn't figured out, and I'm going to call that a negative.
I think that's fair. I'm not defending like the substitution, essentially the Scally for Geo substitution as the response to the red card. I'm certainly not defending that as like the correct soccer decision. I would say it very obviously is not the correct soccer decision. Like if your goal is to optimize your chances of winning over, I guess, the remaining 60 minutes of the game, 50 minutes of the game, and netting, like having a positive net, that is definitely not the textbook response, right? Like you don't leave a gap in your midfield and leave two forwards in that scenario. I don't think. The way I'm sort of defending the adjustment, and we don't need to get into it too much now. Maybe we can do it as the timeline's going. Is that wasn't the priority? That wasn't Berhalter's objective when he made that change. It was, and I mean, he kind of even says this. It's basically he just makes a change out of convenience, and he has the wiggle room to do that because the score at the time we did this is 4.5-0, and we're playing Trinidad. Like there's almost no universe in which we concede 5 goals and lose this game. And even in the universe where we have a howler from our top goalkeeper, we still aren't anywhere close to that. So this is what I'm defending and just basically saying, like, you can afford to do this because if your plan all along was to sub Reyna at halftime, it's like, we're at the 42nd minute. Let's just make this change anyway. And I want to give Pepe more. My plan was to give Pepe more minutes. That I want to leave him on there. I don't want to take him off right now. We're basically in a friendly territory, right? This is the analogy I made in the Discord was we're a basketball team that's up by 30 points in the second half. Like you can put your gray team out there and there's no risk. You might not win by 30. You might lose some points on the lead, but you're going to win and you get your gray team minutes. And in this case, Pepe getting minutes might have been more of a priority to Berhalter than ensuring that we had a positive final like a net positive score final 50 minutes. And again, like he could have been like, no, I'm going to challenge the guy. Like the midfield's going to suffer a little bit. Like Luka, Musa, like you might have to suffer a little bit here, but like stand up and do it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not tactically, it is not the response. Like if this was a game in a vacuum, we had to win this game and it was 1-0 when we had this red card, we absolutely should not sub a midfielder off for a defender and leave two strikers up there. Yeah.
Right. And I guess I wonder, was it a little bit of a miscalculation? Of course, obviously it turned out well. It turned out fine. All of the missions were accomplished, but had James scored there in the 59th minute or whatever it was, 60th minute, and then it's 3-1, and then they need two goals. things start to get a little bit more squeaky bum, I guess. And
Yeah, I could see
I don't
that
know.
because we still had two forwards at that point when they get that chance.
Yeah,
Uh, although again, when we get to the timeline, that's off of a corner kick. So we're not only are we keeping our two forwards on there, but we're taking a corner kick and we're sending CCV up, we're sending Ream up. Like we're not being careful. We essentially like don't respect Trinidad's ability to score the three. They still needed 3 goals at that point. We don't respect them to score the 3 goals that they need. You
right.
know,
And I guess that lack of respect was somewhat vindicated by the way James handled that 1v1 with Turner.